to prepare my favorite smoothie recipe. It's a kale smoothie recipe. So I'm going to be using flax seed, chia seed, almond milk. I will put few cashew nuts, and of course the main ingredients, which is kale. It's best to remove the very hard part. That's the stalk that is binding the leaf, so it's best to remove it. I know some people don't like kale because it's chewy, and my recipe is really a good one because you're going to love it and it's easy to digest. I'm not going to pack it with ingredients that you can barely call the name. So I'm going to be using 50 grams of the kale leaves, and because this stalk has more weight, that's why you have to remove it. And also it might, if you don't have a very good blender, there is a chance that you're going to have to be spitting out some sticks from your smoothie. So that's why it's best that you should remove the stalk, so you can see the very insides. Don't worry if you don't have an organic kale. You don't need to worry if it is an organic or inorganic one, because I'm going to be blanching this recipe, these leaves, before we put them into smoothie. So this is our 50 gram kale leaves. And if you've not been eating kale leaves, do you know that they are very loaded with essential vitamins? Like, can you imagine that in an 100 gram of kale you can get 200% of your daily vitamins, vitamin A intake? And the most brilliant part that I love is that the potassium in these kale leaves is like 600 times. You can't get that much in other vegetable. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to blanch this. And the reason why I blanch it is because the kale leaves, if you buy them, they're slightly hard. Not that too hard, but it's because they also have a lot of fibers, and which is really what you need. But for me, I observed that when I blanch my kale leaves before drinking the smoothie, before making the smoothie, it helps with a quick digestion. So I'm just going to add the hot water to this. So it's not a cooking game. It's just blanching the leaves. And apart from the fact that we are now in the spring, you know, when you buy leaves in the shop, it's best to clean it as much as possible, because there could be some tiny animals that also love your leaves. And well, if you have them with your smoothie, they're extra protein, extra source of protein. So this is how I blanch my kale leaf. Even when I'm making it into a sauce or adding to my food, I always blanch it. Even if it's not for a smoothie, if it's just to put it beside rice as a side dish, I love to blanch it. So I'm going to rinse this. So I think that looks good. I'm going to give it a quick rinse under the tap water to stop the leaf from cooking further. So when I pack my food for lunch, people usually ask me, how did you prepare your kale leaves? This is what I do. I just blanch it like this, and then I put it at the base of my lunch box, top it with some rice, some meat. And I can't just be bothered with all this recipe. They will tell you to blanch your leaves. You should put them in a boiling water for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I just pour hot water on mine and they are good to go. I'm trying not to pack in. You can see some residue at the bottom of this. So this is the kale leaves after blanching it. You can see the greenness of it. It's preserved, and that will help your smoothie to be green as well, rather than being stressed. So this, what I'm going to do is to transfer my kale leaves into the blender, if you have a smoothie maker, that comes in very handy. So the next thing I'm going to be adding now is my chia seed, and I'm going to be adding a teaspoon of the chia seed to the blender. And if you are not using flax seed, chia seed already in your diet, you should add some, because this chia seed, they are very high in fiber, they are high in magnesium. Can you believe that about 136% of your daily intake is already in the flax seed, in the chia seed? Why do I keep mixing them up? And this is flax seed. You can see how golden. If you don't like flax seed, you can try the oil as well, because it's rich in omega-3, and these are the healthy fats that you want in your body, and it helps to really to stabilize the blood with the essential nutrients that it needs. So the next thing I'm going to be adding is this cashew seed. I would like to rinse my cashew seed before. I'm just going to add an handful of my cashew nuts. So handful should be about what gram? Sorry, I'm just going to be showing you in gram. So that's about 40 grams of cashew nuts. I'm going to rinse this, add it to that. So this is mix for the smoothie. You can see the kale, the chia seed, the flax seed, the cashew, and this you can either blend this with water or with almond milk or with iron. Normally I love to make my any smoothie, I love making them with iron or adding some yogurt. For this I'm going to be using almond milk. So half glass cup should come to about 150 ml of almond milk, and I'm going to blend this together now. So the smoothie is ready, and it's really thick. So here is our smoothie. So if you don't like thick smoothie, you can add a cup of the almond milk or a cup of water instead of the 3/4 volume that I added. Or when you blend it, when you finish blending your smoothie and you don't like the consistency, you can easily add in more liquid, and then you can add in more liquid and then give it a quick blast so that it mixes it together all over. And this is my power loaded green smoothie. Alternatively, you can blend your kale leaves with some avocado to add in more healthy fat instead of using cashew nuts if you don't like cashew nuts. So I know some people have nut allergy. So you see, that is the amazing green smoothie that I love.